All right, to discuss more on this, we're now being joined by Dr. Tara Karta, former director of the National Security Council Secretariat and a former senior fellow at the U.S. Institute of Peace. And we also have joining us Sanjeev Krishnan Sood, former additional director general of the Border Security Force. Thanks to both of you for joining us on the broadcast. I would like to begin with you, Mr. Sood. Now, we're talking about terrorism, which is something that is not just in India, but as of now, it's proliferating all over the world. But when you talk about India, how capable do you think India is in tackling terrorism?
I think we need to further enhance our capabilities insofar as intelligence collection is concerned and also insofar as prioritization of security is concerned. You see, let us talk from Pulwama till now. Pulwama, suicide bomber attacked the CRPF convoy. 3,000 kg or something of explosive came. We do not know from where it came. Pahalgam, people came, they killed innocents, they came and they went back. Our intelligence either didn't know or they didn't disseminate. In this particular case, raids had been going on, and it was a lucky break that Kashmir police saw somebody posting banners or something on one of the buildings, and then follow-up inquiries led to these recoveries. Otherwise, the intelligence agencies didn't know from where and how over 3,000 liters of ammonium nitrate had been collected and so much of explosive material had been collected. So we need to gear up our intelligence work. We need to be proactive in this, in collecting intelligence, and we need to involve community in helping the security agencies to create and a sort of discern a pattern about incidents. This we are unable to do, and I think, and let's take the case of Pahalgam. We had known that a Pakistani agency is collecting satellite imagery of Pahalgam. I mean, this report came out later.
Right.
So why didn't our security agencies know this? And they didn't deploy anything. So I think we need to gear up our intelligence agencies and prioritize security.
Absolutely, I see your point. Absolutely. Dr. Karta, I would like to come to you. Now, of course, what Mr. Sood has said, that yes, we are supposed to gear up, because when we look at this particular Delhi blast case, we know that it is from October 30th when this first breakthrough happened. We know that on the day of the blast, 10th, we also know that some ammonium nitrate was recovered, weapons recovered on the day of the blast, and it happened in the morning, and in the evening we know the blast happened. How far capable do you think India is, according to you, in dealing with terrorism?
See, the Pulwama blast, since he referred to it, that was RDX. And that didn't come from India. That came from outside. Now, the very fact that this was ammonium nitrate is an indicator that this was probably a homegrown module. I would say, I mean, rather than say the glass is half empty, I'd say the glass is half full. The fact that you found this, the poster issue was followed up, and within days the arrest followed in Saharangpur. I think 27th was when that investigation started. Early November, Saharangpur, this person was caught and he talked.
Right.
Then it went on to Faridabad, he talked. And the problem there, however, was that one person escaped, and that lookout notice, why we didn't have an FCR system, and we've got images of him going across borders, but this is within 24 hours. This guy was moving from place to place in different cars, in the same car. That is definitely a issue we could have dealt with more in a better fashion. But in my experience, from what I have seen in all these years, this police work has been rapid. I mean, they've worked very seamlessly across states, and that is not at all easy. In such a large country, getting police forces to work together. And then this module was finally, it was not that it was an accidental blast from what I understand, because that, for various reasons, that was not where he intended to actually explode it. So my assumption, therefore, is even following the attack, this person who was arrested for drones, etc., this is someone trying to do a sort of a, putting things together to make a bomb without any major training from outside. The ones who are Pakistan trained are very, very expert. They know how to do these things. So it seems to me, so far as I can see, that isn't the case. It is, see, I would like to know even one country who has had 100% record of preventing all terrorist attacks. I don't know of even one. So it's very easy to say the intelligence agency should have done X, Y, Z. There is a far faster mechanism in place now than there was earlier. Can it go faster? Yes, it can. There are always problems involved. But
Right.
I would, this is some good water.
Absolutely. I would like to, because you mentioned this person who is involved in drones. Now, we know that this person named Jasir Bilal Wani, Danish alias, has been arrested in connection with modifying these drones and attempting to build rockets for a planned terror attack. And then this whole IED-borne vehicle, this is new to India. Of course, we haven't seen this before. So considering that new technologies could make it easier for terrorists to make advanced biological or chemical warfare agents, technologically, are we capable to catch hold of it as of now?
See, for you and I, a drone is still something which is slightly high end, is tech oriented. But you've got drones and wedding planners. They are using, people out there using it all the time. So that move to weaponize drones is inevitable. Is it new? Yes, it is. Have we been attacked by drones before from Pakistan? Yes, we have. I think that was 2021, if I'm not mistaken, when we had the first drone attack in Jammu. So the terrorists, I mean, I'm saying terrorists because we see Pakistan's people as half terrorists themselves. So that experience is there. But nonetheless, it is a very, very dangerous pattern. I mean, there will be once, terrorists are basically imitative in nature. So if they find one succeeding, this has not succeeded. But once they get that idea, someone else could use it somewhere else. So yes, it is a very dangerous thing, which I hope they won't react by ban all drones, because that is not the way to go.
All right.
The way to go is to prevent explosives.
Absolutely. Mr. Sood, I would like to come to you because I feel like you probably better understand this too. Because of the intensity of this violence, is India equipped with strict laws when it comes to all these terrorism attacks?
See, India has very strong laws in UAPA and other related acts. And I think a faster trial of these cases, of those who are apprehended, should send a signal to the terrorists that they won't be spared. So I think we already have very strong laws which should be implemented equally strongly.
Absolutely. Okay. Dr. Karta, I would like to come to you for this one because you have worked with, you're a former senior fellow at the U.S. Institute of Peace. When it comes to international cooperation, India has done multiple bilateral defense drills with other countries. When it comes to terrorism, what kind of international cooperation can India work upon and with whom?
See, we've had pretty good intelligence sharing mechanisms in terms of terrorism with a lot of countries. But see, in the end, what you will get, I mean, if we can somehow get this thing in terms of operational intelligence, that would be very few countries will share with you something which is developing, unless it has an impact on their own countries, like say Pakistan and UK. They cooperate because a lot of Pakistanis go to UK and create problems. They will be involved in terrorist acts there. So there is an incentive to cooperate with more closely in that case. But I think overall it's not been too bad. It's been a fairly good system of intelligence sharing, depending on where you are coming from in seeing this as a terrorist act or not. So but I would agree with what Mr. Sood said. I think our legal systems need to be totally upgraded, because otherwise justice, when do you have to see that justice is being delivered? So that is something I would really mark, that this is we need to do something about that.
All right, well, I have to thank you. We have very little time, but more to discuss. But thank you so much to you, Dr. Karta, and Mr. Sood for joining us on the broadcast and giving our details on this subject.